The first photo arrived at 11:47 p.m. No caption, no sender name, just an image, crystal glasses, burgundy wine, office lights dimmed to something almost intimate. Her hand was on his knee. Not accidental, not blurred, resting there like it belonged. I stared at the screen long enough for my reflection to appear over them, superimposed, ghost-like. I zoomed in. Her nails, the ring I bought her, the watch I gave him last Christmas, engraved with gratitude. They were smiling. I did not call her. I did not call him. I turned the brightness down and watched again. In the corner of the frame, the company logo shimmered against glass walls. After hours. Private. A second photo arrived. Closer. His hand this time, higher on her thigh. The wine bottle almost empty. Their affair was no rumor, it was my reality. My pulse remained steady. I measured it against the ticking clock in the kitchen. Tick! Breathe. Tick! Think. Silence was my blade, and I sharpened it. They called it teamwork. Late meetings, strategy sessions, critical deadlines. I had believed in professionalism, in loyalty, in the architecture of trust. I replayed months in my mind. Her sudden perfume changes, his new gym routine, the way they stopped making eye contact with me at company. Gatherings just slightly too careful. I remembered Thanksgiving. If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes. My daughter-in-law shouted over the phone, laughter in her voice. Not playful, not affectionate, dismissive. I had replied, enjoy. That word cost nothing. It weighed everything. I was the financier of their comfort, founder, majority shareholder, the quiet engine behind their promotions, their bonuses, their imported wine, and now they shared it without me. I did not rage. Rage is loud. Loud people lose control. Instead, I observed the office security logs, the calendar overlaps, the expense reports with two names recurring like a heartbeat. I stopped asking her how her day was. She stopped volunteering details. The air between us grew thin, metallic. Denial flickered once, briefly. Maybe the photos were staged. Maybe context was missing. But context does not explain a hand resting where it should never be. Truth does not require volume. It waits. I began quietly. IT access was still under my authority. Founder privileges never truly disappear. Phone records, keycard timestamps, conference room reservations that extended past midnight. They thought discretion was deleting messages. They forgot servers remember. I retrieved archived chats. Not explicit. Never foolish enough for that. But layered. Intimate in code. Still thinking about that Cabernet. You looked incredible tonight. Same time tomorrow? Professionalism with a pulse beneath it. Externally, I smiled. I attended board meetings, approved budgets, congratulated them on quarterly growth. Inside, I constructed something colder. I hired a private investigator, not for scandal, but precision. Documented meetings at hotels registered under company travel budgets. Shared Uber receipts. A weekend conference in another city with no actual conference. Evidence stacked neatly in a folder. Photos, invoices, transcripts. I did not confront. Not yet. Instead, I booked a trip to Switzerland. A villa overlooking a frozen lake. Clean air. White silence. I took photos. Architectural, elegant, deliberate. I posted one. No caption. Within minutes, her message appeared. Switzerland? Since when? I did not respond. My phone rang 71 times that evening. 71. Desperation sounds different each time. I let it vibrate itself into exhaustion. Back home, the board meeting was scheduled for Monday. I placed the folder inside a leather briefcase. Neatly labeled. Their names embossed on the tab. The conference room smelled of polished wood and anticipation. She avoided my eyes. He overcompensated with charm. I began with quarterly results. Calm, methodical, slides, moving in clean succession. Then I closed the presentation. I have one more item, I said. Just that. I slid the briefcase onto the table, opened it slowly, distributed copies. No explanation. Paper against wood sounded like judgment. At first, confusion, then recognition. The blood drained from her face. His jaw tightened. Photos, receipts, messages printed in sterile black ink. I thought transparency mattered, I said evenly. Silence filled the room like smoke. He attempted something, an explanation perhaps. I raised a hand. No. That was all. The board members read, one by one, eyes shifting between pages and the two of them. Betrayal is one thing in private. It is another when it violates corporate ethics, misuses company funds, compromises leadership. She whispered my name. I did not look at her. He said it wasn't. I met his eyes then. It was. The vote was swift. Termination. Effective immediately. Access revoked. Security escorted them out of the building they once walked through like royalty. I remained seated, perfectly still. She came to the house that night, crying, unraveled, smaller than I remembered. I made a mistake, she said. Mistake, as if betrayal were a typo. He did not come. Pride, perhaps, or cowardice. I never meant to hurt you, she continued. Intent is irrelevant to impact. I handed her an envelope. Divorce papers, already filed. Assets restructured weeks ago. Trusts moved. Shares reclaimed under clauses they never thought to read. You planned this? She whispered. Yes. No anger in my voice, only clarity. I would have forgiven you, she said. That was the final insult. Forgiveness implies shared power. I walked her to the door. You told me to wash dishes, I said quietly. I built the kitchen. She broke then. Truly broke. But I felt nothing except a steady, almost academic interest in consequence. Switzerland was quiet. The lake did not care about affairs or humiliation. Snow fell without preference. I stood on the balcony of my villa and reviewed the last few months as one might review a completed project. Discovery, verification, execution. They lost jobs, reputation, each other. Affairs rarely survive sunlight. My phone no longer rang. Silence, once a blade, was now a shield. I had not screamed, had not begged, had not broken. I had collected proof. And when the time was precise, I cut. People think revenge is fire. It is not. It is ice. Measured, patient, unforgiving. I watched the lake freeze at its edges, inch by inch, until even the surface reflected nothing but sky. That is what I became. Reflective, untouchable. And finally, cold enough that nothing could place a hand on my knee again without losing it.